How many have major goals you'd like to achieve? Raise your hands, please. Very good. I like seeing that. Always like to ask that question, how many of you have major goals you like to achieve? Then I follow up with another question, because this is a crucial place in my life. Just came from the memorial services yesterday in Plano, Texas. Zig Ziglar, I remember when I first saw him speak, I knew I was looking at my destiny. I love helping people, and my goal was to be on stage with Zig and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Jim Rohn. These guys have gone on to the next level, but that was my goal and dream, and I was very fortunate to achieve that at a very crucial point in my life. This industry has really contributed a great deal to me. I go way back in multi-level marketing from the days of a company called Best Line Products, a guy named Bill Bailey. He was one of the mentors of Jim Rohn, one of the greatest speakers on the planet, and Holiday Magic. At this stage of my life, and I think about all of the things that I've done, I can tell you unequivocally, to dreamers, there's no business that will contribute to your growth and development more than this industry. There are several power strategies I'd like to share with you, but with the limited time that I have, I want to drill deeply on 3 of those that you will have as a result of being a part of this industry. Because what this industry allows you to do, and I want you to write this down. Number 1, it secures your future. It secures your future. Number 2, it will stretch you. You develop some new skills, people skills. You're a dreamer, you can't make your dream happen without building people. As I reflect on my life, 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, given a 2 to 3 year prognosis. And the skill set that I developed in multi-level marketing allowed me to generate enough income that I could focus on my health, take care of my mother. I'm adopted. I was born in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City. The other thing it did, it expanded my vision of myself. This is a time that as you look at yourself, there's no such thing as job security. How many of you know that? Raise your hands, please. And it instilled in me a sense of confidence, a strong sense of self. When you have a strong sense of self, that gives your life a sense of purpose. And your life has a sense of purpose, it gives your life a sense of direction. And the economy has changed. We have switched. I remember reading a book by Alvin Toffler called Future Shock. And the things that he talked about, what he predicted, we're living that right now. The 40-40 plan is gone, where you can go to college and graduate and get a job and work 40 hours a week doing the same thing for 40 years. That's gone. 73% of the college graduates, when they graduate, unable to find a job, they move back home with their parents. What multi-level marketing does, it empowers you and gives you the ability to create your own job. It gives you the ability to create your own destiny. I remember seeing Zig on stage. If you give enough people what they want, they will give you what you want. I remember Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, change your thinking and you will change your life. I remember Jim Rohn, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. I remember Earl Nightingale, all of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. I remember listening to those recordings over and over and over and over again to change my mental blueprint. I was born in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City with a twin brother, and in an abandoned building on a floor. And when we were 6 weeks of age, we were adopted by Mrs. Mamie Brown. Whenever I speak, I always say, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. So I signed once and said, God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. Mama was a domestic worker. She worked on Miami Beach. She made up beds and cleaned homes. She cooked for families, weighed the food left over from the families that she cooked for. My mother could bake too. Mama could bake a sweet potato pie so good you couldn't eat it with your shoes off. Can't take your shoes off so you can wiggle your toes. We wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that Mama kept. These families are kind and generous. They would say, Mamie, whatever food is left over, you can pack it up and take it home to those children that you have adopted. When I ask you how many have big goals and dreams, I want to ask you to think about your goals and dreams in 3 areas. Number 1, what's some personal goal that you have for someone that you love? My first major goal was to buy my mother a home. That's what I wanted to do. I remember walking around these big, beautiful mansions before catching the bus going back to Liberty City in Overtown in Miami. I said, Mama, she said, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I'm going to buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. Let me have somebody that you like to do something for that's personal to you. Raise your hands, please. Very good. I want you to think about that. I'm going to share with you some strategies how you can make that happen. Next thing is, I want you to think about your financial freedom number. That when you reach that number, when you earn that amount of money, that you will feel a sense of relief. It'll take a lot of stress out of your life. It'll give you more time for yourself and for your family. And what that number is, if you wrote it down or if you're thinking about it, I want you to multiply it 100 times. And the reason that I want you to do that, I have found in my own life that most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they have done what I did for the first part of my life. Aim too low and hit. And then I want you to think about your social contribution. I believe that we live in the greatest country in the world that allows us to live a life of contribution. Harsman said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. One of the goals I have is to reduce the number of women who die from breast cancer. My mother was a 22-year breast cancer conqueror. One of the goals I have, every time I get on stage, I tell men that I was diagnosed 15 years ago with prostate cancer, given a 2 to 3 year prognosis. One of the things I believe doctors should never tell someone they're terminally ill. What they should say is that my ability to help you has terminated. So I encourage men to get their PSA test, which stands for prostate specific antigen, and the digital rectal examination. And I'll be glad when they can check our prostate by looking in our ears. Can you feel it, brother? Up at here, up at here. I was at this medical convention. A friend of mine said, hey, Les, let me give you a free rectal. I said, no, buddy, you too motivated. Homie don't roll like that, you know what I mean? I was at Florida Hospital. Guy came in, new doctor, didn't say hello, good morning, anything. Goes get some gloves and some petroleum jelly. I said, hey, buddy, this is our first date. Hey, you got to bring me some potato chips, some M&M peanuts. We got to sit down and talk. I got to get relaxed. What's your mama name? I can't believe I'm telling y'all this. I'm turning red, but y'all can't see it. Oh, my God. One of the goals I have is to train. My gifting is in the area of helping you to discover your power voice, how to become a powerful presenter. That's what multi-level marketing does. The money's in the front of the room. The money's in 101, small groups on the telephone. Your ability to present yourself. A gentleman changed my life, Mr. Leroy Washington. He's in his 90s now. He's blind from glaucoma. I never forget the first day we met. I went in his class. He said, young man, go to board and work this problem out for us. I said, oh, I can't do that, sir. He said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, look at me. Yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. I said, I can't do that, sir. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's DT. He's got a twin brother. His twin brother, Wesley, is smart. He's DT. He said, what does DT stand for? He's the dumb twin. And many of the kids laughed, just like some of you did. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. That was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated, but on the other hand, I was liberated because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. I want you to shake someone's hand on your right and left and look them in the eyes and say, you have something special. Do that right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you have something special. I don't know you, but here's what I know about you based upon my own experience. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Just the fact that you showed up, the fact that you said yes to this industry, it says a lot about you. You're uncommon. Because it means that you have a sense of taking responsibility for your own life. George Bernard Shaw said the people that will make it in this life, they look around for the circumstances that they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You've experienced setbacks and disappointments like everybody else in the economy, but you're operating out of the thinking of one L.C. Robinson, who said things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. You have something special. For some of you, it was a struggle to get here. You couldn't afford to be here, but there's something in you that said, I can't afford not to be here. You have something special. You are uncommon. One great American said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I don't wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. That's what it means to be a part of multi-level marketing, an uncommon desire to live your dream and control your destiny.
How did you overcome the cancer? And I know this wasn't your first battle. This was your second, correct? Mm-hmm. How did you overcome that? Who did you have to be? Because I heard you quote a stat, and I hope that you quote it today, about our immune system. And how did you say, no, I'm debt free, I'm cancer free, and I'm drama free? How did you do that?
The oncologist, he was a bad brother who graduated from Howard University. His name was Mr. Golson. Mm-hmm. And so he said, Mr. Brown, I got some bad news. What is it? You have cancer. Oh. I said, whoa. I said, is there anything else? He said, yes. It's metastasized to 7 areas of your body. Oh. I said, wow. He said, why are you smiling? I said, man, 7 is my lucky number. Wow. I'm one of 7 children. I was born February the 17th. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Naaman dipped himself in the river Jordan 7 times. I said, is there anything else? He said, yes. I said, what? He said, and you're ugly too.
Lies.
He said, but you got this. He said, I never tell my patients they're terminally ill. What I say is that my skills, my abilities have terminated. I determine the diagnosis. You and God determine the prognosis. And a verdict. As we look at ourselves, the verdicts of what take place in our lives are not determined by the facts. It's determined by us, our faith, our heart, and our willingness to do what's required in order for us to be here. Being here is not a gift.
Oh, so good. I heard you said something along the lines of our immune system drops. What was that percentage?
When someone looks at you and say that you have a terminal illness, your capacity of your immune system to protect you drops by 40%.
Wow.
In the UK, they don't even allow doctors to say that you are terminally ill anymore. Because of the area of psychoneuroimmunology, words have power. That's why in the Bible it says death and life is in the tongue. And we speak too much death as opposed to speaking life.
Yeah.
And a diagnosis is not a verdict.
Yes.
Yes, and so there are some people, they leave as a result of hearing those words. And what he said, I determine the diagnosis, you and God determine the prognosis.
Yes.
And that works for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a friend who I talked to yesterday. She was told because she had breast cancer that she was terminally ill. And she said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, you have 6 months. And she said, listen to me. She said, you determine the diagnosis. God determines the timetable. Stay in your lane.
Ooh.
And that was 8 years ago.
Come on, wow. Wow, yes. Wow.
She said, stay in your lane.
Oh, I have goosebumps. Because people so often, you know, the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
And he talks about drifters, right?
Yes.
Because so many people are drifting inside of their lives and they're never really certain about most things. They allow the people, the places, the things, the opinions, the judgments, the diagnosis to tell them who and how they're going to be, and then they choose to believe it. But wow, you just, how powerful it is to just know this is, you can say whatever you want, but this is what I'm believing. And sometimes we win that battle and sometimes we don't.
And we have to work consciously. Reading, having a ritual like you have, and I have, reading something positive every day, 30 or 40 pages, listening to messages that are designed to empower us. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man should think, you never have to concern yourself with what he would do.
Oh.
He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, or he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand it. I spoke in a prison in Ohio, and these young guys came in sagging pants. I said, hey, what y'all call that? I'm an old man. They said, sagging. I said, wow. I said, how you spell it? He said, what, sagging? Yeah, S-A-G-G-I-N. I said, wow. If you can determine what a man should think, you never have to concern yourself with what he would do. I said, spell it again. And he said, S-A-G-G-I-N. I said, now spell it backwards.
Oh.
They got quiet. I said, I'm here to eliminate a virus, HIV, hood-infected virus.
Oh.
AIDS, addiction to incarceration and death syndrome. Don't come for me. I didn't call an Uber.
I'm ready to cry right now. Oh my gosh. Ooh, sheesh, that just hit my soul. And we subscribe. Like, whose story are you subscribing to?
Come on now.
And then when you teach people, okay, you don't have to choose this story.
That's right.
If I want to learn about Les Brown, I'm not going to go learn about how to knit kitten hats. You know, like it's just not what you do. You have to be in alignment with what it is that you want. I have to ask you, do you feel like you are mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, physically, energetically as strong as you are now because of your upbringing? I know that they say there's nothing like having a praying woman in your life.
Come on now.
And I know that Miss Mamie Brown, I know.
You know, I always say all that I am and all that I hope to be, I owe to my mother, Mrs. Mamie Brown. And God took me out of my biological womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. I'm adopted. My birth parents I discovered last year, they're like 45 minutes from here. I was conceived in Gainesville, Georgia, but my birth mother came down to Miami to give birth to us and put us up for foster care and then adoption. And what I now sing, I used to end my speeches by saying, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. My birth mother's name is Dorothy Bell Rucker. She was a motivational speaker. And they have a museum for my grandmother. Her name is Beulah Rucker. So now I said, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy and Dorothy Bell Rucker's pride and joy. I've got two mothers and I'm not ashamed. I've got two mothers and I love them just the same. If you close your eyes, I sound just like John Legend.
You sound smooth for sure. Wow. What do you think was the biggest lesson? I have one moment that happened in my life with my mom. She wasn't even teaching. It was just experiencing my mom being the most resilient that I had ever seen her. My dad ruptured a disc in his back when I was about 10 years old. My mom was trying to make sure that we weren't homeless. She was going to school full time to get her master's in engineering, had a full-time job, all of us kids, my dad's injury, and her own life. So there was a lot of weight on her shoulders. And I think of a story of one time I accidentally saw her in the middle of the night crying over her homework by herself in the kitchen at like 2:00 in the morning. And in that moment, I slunk back to my bedroom because I couldn't imagine my mom seeing me see her being weak. But what I didn't know was that was actually one of the strongest points I had ever seen my mom at, because here she is in the middle of the night, literally sobbing over her homework. And then in a few hours, she'd have to have all of us up to go to school. And she always would smile. My mom has poise. She comes with joy. I'm sorry if I cry. But she used to sing this song where she'd try to wake us up in the morning and she'd say, get out of that bed and wash your face and hands. Get into the kitchen and shake them pots and pans. Or she'd have gospel playing or something going on. And she always had incredible energy, she's just such a gem. And I've heard a lot of gems about your mom, and Mrs. Mamie Brown. I heard through your story, but do you have a story like that where it was literally this is the moment that I understand resilience, not because of what I read in a book or heard in a story, but because I experienced it with this person?
Oh, absolutely. It was a deciding point in my life. I was downtown with my mother, and I think I was probably around 4 or 5. And it was very hot. And so I saw a water fountain, and I ran up to the water fountain and started drinking water. And my mother said, Leslie, stop that. And she grabbed me by the shirt and neck and threw me on the ground. Oh. And she started hitting me with her fist with a crazy look in her eyes. And I'm saying, Mama, it's me, Mama, it's me, it's me. And then a white policeman came over and he was hitting a nightstick in his hand. He said, okay, you beat that little nigger boy now. He's learned his lesson. And he walked away and he looked at me and he was laughing. And Mama hit me in the head and in my mouth and my eye. And he said, I haven't learned you that way. And my mother said, Leslie, I'm so sorry. She said, he was coming towards you with that bracelet. His face was red with anger. And had he hit you, he would have had to kill me. I had to do that to distract him. I'm so sorry. And I was still crying. I said, Mama, I said, it's okay. He said, you hit me over here. You kissed me over there, right there. She said, this is making well. She said, okay. I said, over here, right here. And we both started laughing and crying at the same time. But she put herself in a position. She had to decide that if this man hits my son, he will have to kill me. And she said, that said to me, she's willing to die for me.
Yes.
And it taught me the value of courage. The Bible says, be of good courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the willingness to act in spite of fear. Does that make sense?
Oh, perfectly.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, behave.
Oh, wow. I love it. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to ask, we're going to shift gears a little bit. I love talking about family and speaking. You spent some time in politics.
Yes.
How was that? Why was that?
That was fascinating. When I was a state legislator, I used to have voter registration drives and get people out to vote. At one time, we turned out 95% of the vote in every black precinct in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
So when I was fired for editorializing about police brutality, which was unprecedented during that time, and the 2 white police officers were fired, they fired me for that. And then a friend named Horace Perkins, he came to my house. He said, hey, I want you to sign this. And I believe God put angels in your life. He brought these petitions. He went around and got signatures for me to run for the Ohio legislature. So I signed it. But I said, but Perkins, I don't know anything about politics. He said, neither do the people who run.
So true.
So I ran and I won. And I passed 14 bills my first term.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yes, but let me tell you how I got elected. Went to the radio station on Friday before Tuesday.
Yeah.
And my opponent had over $40,000. I had about $600. And so Perkins, who was a salesman at the radio station, he said, come in here, come in the control room. This is where you come and your ideas flow, because I used to make my own commercials. And something came to me and said, call me mom. Because I just couldn't come on the air and just say, hi, I'm Les Brown. I want to encourage you to vote for me. I just couldn't bring myself to it. So I said, Mama, because I always talk about my mother when I was on the air. I said, I'm running for the state legislature and I need you to do something for me. She said, you've been running your mouth and you got fired, didn't you? I said, yes, ma'am. But Mama, I need you to say something for me. She said, Leslie, I don't want to be in that mess. I don't know what that is. I said, Mama, I'll give you $500. She said, boy, you better send it Western Union. And so I said, I don't need you to talk long. Just say what's in your heart. Just make it 30 seconds. She said, okay, now don't forget to send me my money today. I'll come for you.
Right. I like her.
She said, hello, this is Mrs. Mamie Brown. When I raised my boys, I raised them to be good boys. When they got out of hand, I beat their behinds. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy. And I won. Usually you get 3,000 votes in a state representative race. I got over 26,000 votes. People were coming to the polls that I wasn't even in their district saying, Les Brown's mama said he was a good boy. I want to vote for him. Many people would not come out of the poll because they couldn't see my name. They had to call the police. But it was just that if you have a heart-centered message, I tell speakers, don't let what you want to say get in the way of what your audience needs to hear.
Ooh.
Find out about them.
Yes.
What is it what they're looking for? Because when you speak to an audience, someone one-on-one, small group, or large group, they're asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And can I trust you? Okay. Because people don't buy from you, they buy into you. And so, pardon me, so I train speakers how to speak from the heart and expand the vision of the audience to get out of their history to step into their imagination. The imagination is where everything takes place. He said the scripture, I will give you all your eyes can see. And so when I was in the legislature, I was a fierce debater. And that's how I got a lot of bills passed.
How did you become such a great orator? Like, you are the way that you connect all of the dots in such a simple, easy, concise way is really mind-blowing, to be honest.
Thank you.
How did you become...
I studied Malcolm X. By any means necessary, Dr. King.
Yes.
Malcolm X was a communicator. Dr. King was an orator.
Yes.
The best speakers make the fewest words go the farthest.
Yes, they both.
And so I studied them because they mastered their craft. And Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Billy Graham, I watched and I studied all of them. And I think I'm a combination of all of them.
Yes.
And you take some material that you believe in, it comes out of your heart, and you own it. You speak from that place of power.
Yes.
That you help people to discover their power voice and inspire them to do something different with their lives.
Wow. Wow. That's so true. Malcolm X is definitely straight into the point.
Great communicator.
Yes.
And Dr. King, I have a dream.
Yes.
So, that's another
Tell
level.
a story.
Yes.
And you enroll people into that story.
Yes. So when you see me speak in the Georgia Dome, though now I'm speaking as an orator, that speech I gave, it's not over till you
win. Yes.
Before 80,000 people. Wow. But when you see me speak in a short form, now that's the Malcolm in me.
Yeah.
Or in an interview like you talking to me right now.
Yes.
I'm ready for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mama beat the X out of me. Because I came home after I heard Malcolm X. And my sister, she ran and met me. She said, Leslie, you got to change your last name back to Brown. I said, my name is Leslie X. She said, Mama's going to beat the hell out of you. And so next day I went to school, I was Leslie Brown.
I know that's right.
Yeah, she beat that X out of me. I have a friend, and Mike Sims, he stopped looking at television for a year, and he became a millionaire. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just focus on reading and meditating and journaling and exercise and praying and being focused on my dream and working with people that fit in this category, that they are positive, they are purposeful. That means they have a purpose and they're going in the direction that I'm going. They are productive. They're working on their stuff and they're profitable. They're making some stuff happen. This is some time. These blessings that God has granted us, we are to make something happen. We've got to create something that shows that this era is the most profitable, most productive, and purpose-driven era in our history because of how we've been blessed, because what God has bestowed upon us. We got a fresh start. And when you have a fresh start, you want to take advantage of that, doing the right thing, being excited about it. I remember Dr. Otis Moss, who was a classmate of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He said, blind celebration and empty sentimentality will not keep the dream alive. What is your dream? I remember Dr. Johnny Coleman out of Chicago, and she asked, what is your dream? It said, when is it a man or woman dies? And the answer was, when their dreams die. Some people never had a dream. They think in terms of getting a job. Well, that's not an option now. This is an entrepreneur's era. You have to create your own job. And you got it like that, whether you recognize that or not. New industries are in you. You were born with greatness in you and dreams in you, the ability in you to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. How do you know these things? Because you've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. I got something to back me up with that. Is that right? Yes, the word of God. He doesn't lie. You got it like that. Yeah. That's something. Yeah. I've got to decide to get excited about that. Somebody called me, are you watching the playoff? Watching somebody live their dreams? No, I know playoff what? Excuse me? Are you serious? This is our time. This is your time. I want you to take the time and think about that and reflect on your life. And say, speak, Lord, if you don't know what you're supposed to do next. If you don't know how you're going to take advantage of this time. Say, speak, Lord. Thy servant heareth thee, and he will. He will. He will. Just get still. Go for a walk or go for a drive or just unplug the computer to turn it off and turn your phone off and just get still and create an opening in your thoughts. Don't worry about anything. Just be open. Just ask, speak to me, talk to me. I got a fresh start. Tell me what to do. Lead me. Listen to your heart. Lead me. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. You are blessed. Thank you, Lord. Lead me. You said you never leave me nor forsake me. I need you now. Lead me. Tell me what to do. If I knew what to do, I would not be in this place. Help me interrupt my thinking, hack my brain, and allow me to hear your untarnished and unpolluted guidance. Please, Lord. Please, Lord. Thank you, Father, for this time. We have a fresh start. Your people need to be reminded, including me. I'm in that number. I got up this morning saying, what will I say? I'm speaking to myself. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, and I'm sharing the conversation that you have put in me. We have a fresh start, a new beginning. There are people who've read history. We have a chance to write history. You have positioned us to do that. Oh, yes, you have. Yes. Thank you for this fresh start. Thank you for the courage to answer the call, the courage to be mindful that you're ordering our steps, the courage to call forth those things that be not as though they were, the courage to stand, the courage to have the faith and to know all is well. We give thanks. We give thanks. And so it is.
How these people can develop their story or let them know, because I know that there's a lot of people here, and we have probably 50 different countries around the world that watch this, and a lot of them aren't aware of you yet.
Yes.
But they need to be, right? They need to know about your products and services and coaching and all that stuff, and we'll talk about that. Your story, what was the defining moment, that turning point for you that set your life on a different course?
Well, what set my life on a different course was when my mother became ill. Because I was a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio. I'm adopted. I was born in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother. I'm telling you my story. And when we were 6 weeks of age, we were adopted by Mrs. Mamie Brown. I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. My mother was a domestic worker on Miami Beach. She cooked for families. We ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for. We wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that Mama kept. And so as a child and goal, a turning point in my life was seeing my mother work so hard. I said, Eric, when I become a man, I want to take care of my mother. I want to ask you, is there someone that you want to take care of? Is there someone that you'd like to do something special for? I want you to think about that person right now. Now, what I've done by doing that, I have segued from my story. I have now brought them into the story, and I asked them, is there someone you want to do something special for? They're saying yes. Now, that is called an imaginative leap. They leap from my story into their own story and say, yes, I know somebody. I like to do something for my coach or for my minister or for my mother or for my father or an aunt that raised me, okay? So now they're in the story. Now I will tell them how I went about doing that. So they have an interest. Who are you? What do you have? I have a story on how I bought my mother a home. And why should I care? The reason you should care is that I've been very successful at doing something that you can do too. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So now you create a committed listening in the telling of the story. Or I can say, recently I went to a seminar. A young lady by the name of Pauline Ahi. She came to the seminar. Pauline flew from Hawaii to Los Angeles. I was very inspired as I watched her. And the reason I was inspired, here we were in a room of entrepreneurs. And the person standing in front of the room, Dr. Julie Van Putten, as she was speaking and talking about discovering your power voice, ever so often Pauline would lean forward and she'd pick up a pen with her mouth and she would write with her mouth. Pauline came from Hawaii. Pauline has no arms. Pauline has no legs. She writes with her mouth. Here's a person who decided to become an entrepreneur, who decided to build a business in multi-level marketing, and with no arms and no legs, she's building an organization. And one of the things that really got me, when Dr. Julie Van Putten interviewed Pauline, she asked her, tell me one major obstacle you had in your life. Tell me something you can think of. And Pauline looked and she thought and she said, I can't think of anything. And that grabbed me, because I could have given her a whole lot of things, a list of obstacles. And that showed me that Elsie Robinson was right when he said things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. Even though she was born with no arms and no legs, what has happened in her, that she sees herself as an empowered person. She has not decided to become a part of a job, the journey of the broke. She decided to control her own destiny by being involved in multi-level marketing. And what I said as I looked at her, if Pauline can do it, I know I can do it. And I know you can do it. Okay. So there's a story.
How many more you got? Keep going.
Yeah. So those examples, I mean, Mike Jones out of Philadelphia. I met him. Mike was earning $500 a month on Social Security. He now earns over $35,000 a month, and he does a seminar called How to Earn Over $200,000 a Year with Your Eyes Closed. He's been blind since he was 10. Okay, so all of these examples of what we see, other people's lives, we can use that as a platform.
So whether it's your story or somebody else's story, that's the example that you're giving.
Yes, and people say,
I don't have success yet.
Yes.
They're just getting started. I haven't had success. I've been involved for 6 months. I haven't had success, but I can tell this other story and I can say that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Dexter Yeager, who was a beer truck driver, and now 50% of Amway volume comes through his organization. Dexter was just an everyday guy who decided that he wanted to live a different life for himself and for his family. And so when we look at people who are the great performers in multi-level marketing, here's what I know that they have in common too. Not only are they great storytellers, but there was a deciding moment, and that moment when they said virtually, I've had it. I've had it. That's when people change. I used to live next door to a lady named Miss Lillian, and Mr. Marvin, every Friday night he would get drunk and beat her. And I saw her years later and said, how's Mr. Marvin doing? She said, I left him. I said, why? She said, I'd had it. I'd had it with Marvin beating on me. That's when people leave jobs and they say, well, where are you going? Away from here. I've had it. You know, I was working on a job where they paid me just enough to keep me from quitting it. I worked just hard enough to keep from getting fired. So finally, I said, you know what? I've had it. Going where I'm celebrated rather than tolerated. I've had it living and playing small. And so those kind of examples and that kind of passion. People are not just looking for information. They're looking for personality and passion. They can get information on the internet. There are no secrets out here. You can just Google everything and find out what day the earth was made and the rock that broke Goliath's jaw. We can find everything right now. But personality and passion, that's what people want. That's what they buy into. Do you believe this? The difference between being in this business and this business being in you. That's what they feel. And the people that grow the large organizations, you can tell being in their presence that as much as they have chosen this, they were chosen for this kind of work. You've got to have a passion for people. You've got to believe in the product. You've got to believe in the industry. You've got to believe that you have it within yourself to become an entrepreneur, that it's possible that you can live your dream. That's why people say yes, that it's necessary, and that you are the driving force to make it happen, that it's you, that nobody can do it for you, nobody's going to care more about your dream than you, and that it's hard, that easy is not an option, that when you think about growing your organization, think it not strange that your family members and friends will say no. People who should be there to help you won't help you. In fact, they will discourage you. They will laugh at you. Oh, you're involved in some pyramid scheme. Here you go again. All of that's going to be a part of it. When you get on an airplane, before they take off, they say fasten your seatbelt. Why? Because you're going to experience some turbulence before you reach a comfortable altitude. When you get involved in multi-level marketing, fasten your psychological seatbelts. Why? Because you're going to experience rejections and no and laughter and snickers from your family members and friends. Why? I don't know. That's just the way it is. It's possible you can live your dreams in spite of that. It's necessary for you to know that you're the one to make it happen, and that you become selective of people that you bring into the business. You don't want to convince people to do it, because person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. You want people who want more, not people who need more. And that it's you. You've got to be the driving force, and it's hard and it's worth it. Decide now. Write down 5 reasons on why you won't give up. 5 reasons when you're facing the rejections and the no's, when people don't show up at the parties, when people don't keep their word. 5 reasons why you will stick in the game. I have a saying, when life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Your reasons will help you get back up again. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. So it's possible you can build an incredible organization, make a great living for yourself. And it's necessary. If you're casual about your dream, as Bill Bailey said, you will end up a casualty. And it's you, and it's hard, and it's worth it. And once you create that momentum, it's done. Stick a fork in it. It's done.
So it's possible.
Yes.
The second one?
Yes, and the reason it's possible, what's possible for one is possible for all. If anybody built an incredible organization, went across the stage and got a check because of their work and their effort, then it's possible that everybody seated there as witnesses can do it.
Right.
And that it's necessary.
It's necessary.
Yeah, you got to have a game plan. You got to be willing to stick it out. You got to be willing to persist. Og Mandino said you got to be willing to say, I will persist until I succeed. And, the greatest salesman in the world. And you got to say to yourself your mantra, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Because in the beginning, things look real good.
Right.
And then you have a dry spell. And then you start questioning yourself. And that's what over 85% of people do. And it's you. You got to take personal responsibility. You're going from being a volunteer victim of letting somebody tell you what time to be to work, how long your lunch break will be, what time to get off, how many days you can be sick out of the year, how many days you can go on vacation, got to ask for permission. You're going from that position of powerlessness and being weak, because most people have developed an addiction to powerlessness. That's why the majority of people you ask to come into this business will say no. They have developed an addiction to powerlessness. When you're working with somebody else's job, they are controlling your financial future. So you are different. You are not common. You are uncommon when you said yes to this dream.
Yeah, stop for a second. An addiction to powerlessness.
Yes.
I've never heard it said that way. And I think that's really interesting, the way you say that. Because we've been taught. We've been
groomed and we've been taught to depend on a job, to look forward to a job. People looking for jobs in an economy where jobs are shrinking. We cannot produce enough jobs. The government cannot produce enough jobs to replace the jobs that are being eliminated through technology and cheap labor abroad. I can get a PhD in the Philippines for $500 a month. When I was a kid, I used to work in a bowling alley. They knocked the pins down, we jumped down, and we straightened the pins back up. Somebody invented a trade that put us out of business. I used to work on the elevator. What floor, please? And I would punch the elevator. No, they don't need that now. When I was in school, my girlfriend said, I want to be an operator. When you made a long distance call, you call an operator place to call. Now you call direct. So technology's changing things, replacing whole industries. When the last time you went to the store and bought some envelopes and a stamp and some stationery and a pen to write a letter? We don't do that now. We text, we email. That's an industry that's eroding. I went to a school, Bill Gates School in Philadelphia. They don't have paper, all computer, a paperless school. That's different. When I was a kid, we carried books to school. So this is the era the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. What we have in multi-level marketing is cooperation and collaboration, people working together in a community of achievers to help everybody win. That's the exciting thing, that when I help you win, then I win also.